Do you know what it's like to be a young person nowadays? It's fucking scary. With all the social justice crap floating around and people my age just generally not using their brains, it's hard for me to interact with people. I'm already an introvert, but now my pool of potential friends is even smaller because I don't want to have a lengthy conversation about how evil Trump is or stumble into a debate about feminism and why I'm not a feminist. Not to mention, at some point, I'd like to find a mate, and I know there are plenty of rational women out there, but every time I hear someone casually say, kill all men, or I hear about some guy getting his dick chopped off, I get really discouraged. People just aren't thinking at all nowadays, and you could talk at length about connections between that and smartphones and just people in general being entitled, they just don't care about anything. Again, you could go on forever about that. I'm not going to talk about that right now. And it's not just young people. It's arguably the majority of the population in the quote-unquote West. It's hard enough for me to get the courage to go out and try to meet people. Now I have to hope that the people I meet don't start trash-talking men or white people, or they don't try to prove that the patriarchy exists because of the country's demographics. Now, all of that is just petty shit. Obviously, I can deal with morons by just walking away, but here's my real concern. What are my kids going to go through? I plan on having kids. Hopefully someday that will happen, and I'm also afraid for them. I know, a future parent scared for their children, crazy, right? But here's what I'm worried about. This social justice bullshit can't go on forever. It really just depends on how long the news will push their narratives. The moment that stops, they'll lose a lot of their influence. But even then, you have people like Anita Sarkeesian who have a lot of influence independently. I have no idea if all this insanity will slowly die out or come to a head and just explode. All I can hope for is that it won't turn into a new Holocaust. And among all the thoughts that go through my head when I think about the regressive left, I think about my future children. Will they have to grow up in a society centered around lies and stupidity? I mean, I guess one way or another maybe, but I've actually thought about what might happen if I married a white woman and we had white kids. Would society attempt to indoctrinate them with feminism and racist ideas that only promote self-loathing because they're born white? It's fucked up that I have to think about these things, and I know it's my choice to think about them, but can you honestly look at society right now and tell me that the concern isn't justified? Just Google white people and tell me that there's no reason to be worried. Now, I couldn't give a shit about my skin color. Just because other people assign value to it doesn't mean that you have to. As far as I'm concerned, I'm tan and pink. I know I can handle myself even if things get worse, but I worry about the kind of world I'd be raising my children in. If I'm lucky, I'll find a mate who's smart and strong and we'll be able to raise our kids right, but I just imagine an Interstellar-style moment where I'm called into the principal's office because my son or daughter said something factually correct. And I have to be the one to stare this grown person in the eye as they say something stupid like there's no biological difference between men and women. At the end of the day, this is small potatoes compared to the real problems we face on this planet, but these are just a few things that bother me from time to time. I thought it might be worth sharing these thoughts because I know that there are others out there who feel the same. So for the time being, stay strong, stay alert, and question everything. I'm Drachona, and have a nice day. At the end of the day, this is small potatoes compared to the real problems we face on this planet, but these are just a few... Oh my god. Why are you constantly backing up? This is appropriate. That vehicle is regressing. That's all I have. That's all I have for that. And among all the thoughts... Hey, shut up. Boo, 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 boo.